Hi, I'm Amy Seipke. I'm the Engineering and Mathematics Librarian here at UM-Dearborn. Today's presentation is going to be about how to conduct library research in our library here, the Mardigian Library, and specifically how to go in-depth searching with databases. So our overview goals today are to give you an introduction to the library, to tell you about some of our resources that we have available, to introduce you to the library guides that are on our website, and then to go more in depth with how to search in the database and to talk about your assignment specifically. So this is me. As I said, I'm the Engineering and Mathematics Librarian here. I have my Master's in Library Science from Wayne State, and I have a Bachelor's of Science in Education from U of M Flint. So the Library Research Center is the part of the library that I belong to. And we are what a lot of libraries call the reference librarians. We each focus on a different subject. So like I said, my subjects are everything within the College of Engineering and Computer Science, and then also the mathematics department. And these are my colleagues' names and email addresses, and then their topics that they specialize in as well. So the Library Research Center is located inside the library. When you come in the front doors, you'll be looking at the circulation desk. If you turn left, you'll see a sign that hangs down from the ceiling that says Library Research Center. And we are open to drop-ins. So if you happen to be on campus or in the library and you know that you're going to need help with something, come on in and we can give you a hand. So what can we do? We can help you with electronic access, so getting into the databases. We can also help you find the proper resources for whatever you need, which is what we're going to be focusing on today. We can help you with evaluating your resources that you've found and with creating citations and bibliographies. So the Mardigian Library is now physically open, and we're also open on the internet on our website. So Monday through Thursday, we're here 9 to 9. Friday and Saturday we're closed, and then Sunday someone's here from noon to 9. Online, you can always go to our website and find subject guides, which we'll talk about later, databases, journals. A lot of those are available electronically, and you can read them right from your computer from home anytime, day or night. And here is the website link for our website. So we're going to start by taking a look at our website. If you see up here in this gray box, you'll see these are our announcements, our current announcements. They change frequently. This one's already outdated, but you will still see this part that says that the library is currently restricted to current students, faculty, and staff instead of other members of the larger community. You'll see down here today's hours, and if you click on this or hover over this clock, you'll see our upcoming hours for the rest of the week. Over here is where you can go to contact whoever is on duty at the moment. It's usually somebody from user services who can help you with things like placing a hold on a book or doing an interlibrary loan, and also usually somebody from the reference department from the LRC. So whatever type of question you have, there's usually somebody on during our virtual hours that can help you. This little box over here, this is chat with us, is a little sticky box. Wherever you go on our website, that will follow you. So whenever you have a problem, you can click on it and chat with, again, whoever's on duty at the moment. The first thing that you need to know in order to be able to access any of those resources remotely is that you'll need a VPN. So this is where you can find the guide from ITS on how to install the VPN on your personal device so that you can access our resources from off campus. The next part of our website I want to show you is the My Account button up on the top right side. I know you've already seen a little bit about how to log in, but I just want to highlight one more aspect here. So you just enter your unique name and password, log in. In the video you watched already, Sophia explained how to check out or to see what you have checked out, how to place holds, lists and preferred searches. I want to highlight real quick my reading history. By default, we don't collect or we don't retain any information about what books you have had checked out. Once they return, it's deleted from our system. If you want to ever be able to find out what you had checked out before, then you need to come here to opt in. That's just if you want to be able to see your own checkout history. You need to opt in because currently it's defaults to opt out. One more pitch I'd like to give you before we get into the meat of our presentation today is about citation trackers. So citation trackers can help you create your citations, and they'll also help you to remember, just like the opting into our circulation history box, they'll help you keep track of articles that you've read. These are three that are highly used here, Zotero, Mendeley, and EndNote. I like Zotero because it's open source. The other two are proprietary, although they do have free versions. If you check out this guide here, you will find a guide from my colleague Raya about how to use those different citation tools. I would suggest that you do it earlier in your career than later. At some point during your time here, you'll probably have to do it. So you might as well do it now, because when you find out how awesome it is and how easy it is, you'll kick yourself if you don't do it early. So here is some directions to walk through and do that, to set up your Zotero account. The first thing you need to do is download it onto your machine and get the browser add-on. Then you need to create a profile, which will allow you to connect your records across your machines. If you open the app, you can create folders and organize the resources that you saved there in whatever manner works for you. So this is an activity to walk through and create a folder for the things you're going to learn about today. These notes are available on the LibGuide that I will show you in a few minutes how to get to. So you can go back and do that. It would be a good way to get you started on this project. So some of the sites or parts of the website I want to talk about are the Mardigian search here, and then these four boxes across the bottom. The Mardigian search is what we call a federated search. So it searches within all of our other resources. If you want to do a quick search of our databases to see if we have something, to see what databases would be the best place to look. If you don't care what kind of resources you get, like you could use a book, you could use a video, this is a good place to go. So I want to go over really quickly how our Mardigian search works. Again, I know that you watched a video, but so this will be pretty quick as we go through these. There are three searches here that I'd like you to go ahead and try from your machine right now. Type into the search box ethics violations in engineering, and then try again with ethics violation in quotes and then engineering in quotes to see the difference between those search results. And then finally try that last one where you type in the two open parentheses and then the open quotes, ethics violation, close quotes, close parenthesis, capital or, just as you see it on your screen there. So that we can talk about the differences between the way, the results you'll get from each of those searches. Our Mardigian search uses Boolean operators, just like many of our databases do, which means you can add those ors and ands and that it knows what that means. Another benefit is that you can nest things. So if you look at number 3 there, you want either ethics violations or conduct violations, but it also has to have the word engineering. So the nested parentheses there help with that. Okay, so the number 1 search there, you're going to get a search result that's going to be a huge number of results. It's going to show you everything that has those 4 words within it, anywhere in the article, in the abstract, in the title, anywhere in the document, not necessarily together, not necessarily as phrases. So you're going to get a huge number for that one. So you can cut it down a little bit and get more specific and more of the information that you're interested in by doing search number 2, which is to search the phrase ethics violations. So that way those two words have to be together in a phrase, and engineering. So the way that our catalog works is it assumes an and in between. Not all databases assume an and, some of them assume an or. Ours assumes an and. So that's going to cut down your search results pretty drastically because you have to have ethics violations together. So these are going to be more specific, more targeted to what you were looking for. But there are lots of different ways of saying the phrase ethics violations. So you might call it a conduct violation instead of an ethics violation. So you can search that way in the Mardigian or in most of our databases by putting those, nesting those within double parentheses like I have there. So that you're saying you want the phrase ethics violation or the phrase conduct violation, and then also the word engineering. Okay, so that will give you some results in the Mardigian, but we can also get more specific and more detailed and look in our databases. So there's a couple of different ways that you can pick a database. You can pick them by subject, including computer science, engineering, or mathematics are 3 of our subjects that are listed there. So if you click this button here, it says databases at the bottom of the main page, you'll get a page that will allow you to search by subject or by title. So if you already know what database you're interested in looking in, this is a good way to get there quickly. You can do the title search and pick by first letter. If you don't have any idea what kind of database you want, it's a good idea too to go by search, or I'm sorry, to search by subject. But those are probably not as targeted. If you do sort of have an idea of what you want, you can probably find them from your departmental guide. So instead of going to databases, I'm going to show you how to go through subject guides and get a targeted set of databases specific to your exact needs. So we're going to get to our subject guide for this class. And so there's 2 different ways to get there. You can either go to composition and then pick it out of that list, Comp 270, or you can go into the engineering section and pick the course guides for CE, CS, and mathematics. There will be other courses during your time here that you will need to look for, and they will likely be there. So I'm going to go that way just to show you how to do that today. But the other way also would work just as well. So once we get to our Comp 270 LibGuide, you'll see these 2 sections here that we're going to focus mainly on today, which is the recommended databases and the professional organizations. Now, this whole guide was created for your course. So everything on here is something that I thought would be relevant and important to you as you work through this class this semester. So do check out the other tabs as well. There's lots of notes on different writing formats, how to start your search, how to evaluate your sources. I know you've done the evaluate your sources already, but there's also information in there on citing your sources. And then that bottom tab is specific to your course. So that will give you some good information like the readings and things that your instructor wanted you to do. And that's also where you will find these slides for this presentation once I'm done presenting it to you. Okay, so recommended databases. Let's start there. On this page, you will find the databases listed by topic. I'm going to demonstrate a search in a few minutes for one of the examples that your instructor didn't put in your list, so I don't want to do somebody's research up here for them. But I'm going to search for information on He Jiankui, who is alleged to have edited genetic code in babies. This would normally be something that we would look up under the databases listed under biomedical. But I think that the interest in this story probably crosses from biomedical to all sorts of different engineering topics. So I'm going to actually pick something from our multidisciplinary section down here. I'm going to pick the applied science and technology source to look in first. If you're looking for something in aerospace, automotive, chemical and material, computing, electrical, these tabs will help you to get a list of databases that are sort of more specifically targeted towards those areas of research. And then these ones down here are more general engineering, general science interest databases. So before we actually go into our database and start searching, I'm going to take a minute to collect our thoughts and plan out a search query so that we can do the best searching we can. I created for you all to use this fillable PDF document, so let's walk through it together. Go ahead and open it up on your computer. Okay, and then you can fill it in. I made it fillable, and then you can save it when you're done filling it in. Let me make sure. Maybe not. Maybe we should save it first. All right. Well, I guess let's save it first then. And then we'll fill it out once it's saved. Okay, so we're going to work on this together. Write out 1 or 2 sentences about what it is you're hoping to learn. So I would write this researcher's name, and then I would say, I'm interested in finding out how he edited genetic material in babies. Or I could look up what ethical violations, that's what I would probably look for. I would look for this researcher's name. He-Jan Ku. So I would look up He-Jan Ku. How did He-Jan Ku violate the ethics codes of biomedical field by editing the genes of the genetic material, genetic code in babies? Okay, so I would write that out as a sentence here. And then I would circle the keywords. You can't circle, you're on a PDF, but you can highlight the keywords from the sentence, including nouns and verbs that would be required to understand your meaning. So if you were trying to ask somebody this question, what are the keywords that you would have to make sure they heard correctly? Once we find those words, we're going to write them small in these boxes here. Write each word. So I'm going to write out genetics, write out ethics, ethics violation. So I think those are my only 3 that are very important to understanding my meaning. But now the next step is going to be to write out the synonyms and alternate forms of the words. So genetics, another way we could say that would be DNA. We could say genes. We're going to leave his name the same. We're going to go down here. Ethics violation could be called misconduct. Could be conduct violation. Could be let's see, conduct violation, or it could be yeah, let's just go with those. Okay. As we're done, as we're going through searching, we're not really done. These search terms will grow and change. We may find that one of these is giving us results we don't want, so we might want to eliminate that search term. We may find that one of them is better than another, so we would want to spend more time with that one. We may find new search terms as we're searching. We may see words in titles and places that are like, oh yeah, we should include that one too. So this is, meant to grow and change as you do your research. So don't focus too much on those being, set in stone. So as I mentioned before, when we were talking about our Mendelian search, Most of our databases use Boolean operators, which is where, to connect your search terms together. So for most of them, there is a button somewhere on the page that says advanced search. When you click on that, you're going to find like boxes to fill in, like a form to fill in. And there's going to be drop down boxes usually that have the words and or not. Sometimes you'll see ones that say within two or something like that. So you know that the words need to be within two other words of each other. So they need to be close to each other. So we're going to want to use our advanced search feature in our databases. That's going to be, give us the best and most targeted results, the most high quality resources. So we're going to want to go through and create some search phrases. So here for number 5, it says we're going to write out some phrases, at least 2 or 3 to start with. And again, it may grow and change as we search. So connect our search terms together using and, not, or to form like a good search query string. So let's say we're going to look for this researcher's name. Okay, so we'll just get started with those. You can write yours in too. I'm sure you've noticed these links don't work, but there is enough information there that you can follow them. I will fix that just as soon as I can. Hopefully tomorrow. Okay, so once you've got this filled out, then we're ready to move on and start using some of those search strings. So we're going to go into our databases. This one should take me into, there you go. So we're going to start by looking at this applied science and technology source that I picked from that list that was on the LibGuide. In here, I'm going to type that search query that I just formed. Okay. So I'm looking for the researcher's name and either ethics or conduct. I'll talk about the limiters and the filters in a minute. First, we're going to just do a broad search, see what we find, see if those terms got us anything useful. Okay, so we've got a few things here. We've got almost 40,000 items. So our next step is going to be to use some filters to narrow our results to get the best quality resources that we can find. So if you click here, you'll find this list, and I will walk you through as I do it. Okay. So I know that you've already learned about the trap method. So I'm going to show you some of the built-in filters and how they can make that assessment a little bit easier on you. So first, you're going to want to narrow your results to full text. Abstracts and indexes won't really help you in an assignment like this that's a short timeline. So you're improving your relevance by limiting only to things that are available in full text online, so you don't have to wait for them to arrive. Then you're going to want to check the box for peer reviewed only. That will increase your accuracy and the authority of the sources that you're going to find. So by doing peer reviewed, I assume you know what peer reviewed is. That means that other people in the industry who also are reputable in that same field have reviewed it to make sure that it meets the scientific standards of the field and that their conclusions follow from their research. And then the last thing we're going to do here to help us a little bit is to move our date slider. We don't really care about anything from 1948 because this event happened, I think it was 2018. So we're going to go up to like 2015. Actually, let's go all the way up to 2017 until today. So that helps with our relevance and our timeliness. If you happen to be finding a lot of results in a language that you don't read, you may wish to go down here and limit by language. In fact, I will go ahead and limit it to English. It says there's 63 in Chinese, and that will not help me. So again, that helps to improve my relevance as well. And then if we want to check for publishers or publications that might be highly biased in that field, we can go in here and limit. If we know that there's somebody who has published a lot but has a very bad reputation in the field, well, they probably wouldn't be under peer reviewed. But you could look under here and make sure that they didn't pop up under author or publisher or publication. These all look like pretty reputable sources here, so that won't really be anything we need. Okay. So now we can look at our results. We're looking at about 4,000 results, which is much better, more reasonable to look at. If we didn't come up with enough results or ones that we liked, we could go back to our document that we filled out and try a different string or a different query there to see if we could get better results. But a couple of these look okay, so let's get started with these ones. This looks like it would be a pretty helpful article. So I'm going to go ahead and click here to open the article. It's available here as HTML full text or as PDF full text. So there are a couple of different ways that you can make sure that you can find this article again. Like if you read this abstract, you can see this looks like it would be a pretty good article to have to help us out with this. There are a couple of ways though for you to save it to make sure that you're going to be able to come back to it later. So you can download the PDF. If you do that, make sure that the citation is attached so that when you go to write your paper, you have your citation. You can create a citation here, and it will show you in several different fields, though it doesn't give you an IEEE for this, but I think you are allowed to use APA as well. So there's an APA. So if you're going to download the PDF, make sure you have a citation on it. You can also create your own personalized account. So if you hit sign in here, it'll prompt you to create a personal account. You can do that for free. That's included with our package that we buy here is that you can create a personal account. Once you do that, you can create folders for different projects to keep information on different topics in. And that way you'll be able to return right here to those articles later. But the way that I'm going to recommend we do is to use the Zotero that we just were talking about. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here, we're going to open it up. Okay. And here are the folders that I've already created. You can see that I have created a folder for this class. Here it is. And then in order to save this article that I found that I like, all I have to do is come up here to this icon that's in our browser bar and click it. It'll ask me which folder to put it in. I want to put it in the Comp 270 folder. And then I'm done. And then if we open up Zotero again, we'll see that it is there. This one was called Sorry, move over here. Research ethics, this one. Okay. So from this later on, I can click it and all I'll have to do is authenticate once it gets into the U of M server. What you cannot do in order to get back to here is to take this link from the top, from the URL. It will not work. I can show you how to make it work, but just taking this will not work. So yeah, if you use Zotero, you can also take notes. So you can add notes. If you did an annotation earlier, you could put your annotation right in here so that you don't have to wonder which article was which. You can just come into Zotero without having to read the whole article again and find which ones were useful to you. So you can see here, I downloaded this one as a PDF and I attached that PDF to my Zotero account. You can see is this one is, I saved it as a PDF on my personal machine, but I wanted to make sure that I remembered where I had it. So I put that in here as a note field. Okay, so you can continue to do that with all the articles that you find useful. If you click back, you'll be able to see more articles. We could pick more here that we thought were useful. If we don't find, even if we do find a lot, it would be good to try some different terms just to, because the way people phrase things might also sort of lend to their biases. So you should try some different synonyms, even if you are finding enough results. So you would just go up here and edit these and try some of the other strings of search queries that we came up with. Oh, and I said I would show you how to save this link. So this link is useless to you because we have to go through our VPN and our proxy server, or our VPN or our proxy server. But you can, if you go to the libraries page, go to the libraries page, you can find one second, I will close. Okay, I found it. So if you go here to this box that says databases and click on that, over here on the left, you'll see a menu. Off-campus link tool is what you're looking for. So you go here to the article that you like. You'd have to find where it says permalink or DOI. You have to get the permalink and take a copy of that and paste it here. And then convert link, and it will give you the link that you can use to get back here again. So if you're going to just make notes and read it in the browser, and you want to make sure that you can get back to it, this is a good way to create a link that you can follow again. You'll just have to authenticate when you get there. Faculty use that a lot to link their into their course readings. Okay, so as I said before, this box that was on the library's main page will get you to somebody, whoever is on duty. And with most of your questions, any of us are able to answer it. But if you are looking for me specifically, here is how you can get a hold of me. I'm in person 11 to 7 on Mondays, 9 to 5 on Tuesdays. Other than that, I'm remote. You can set up a Calendly appointment for a Zoom meeting with me. You can email me or you can call my office phone, which obviously I can only answer 2 days a week. But you can leave me a voicemail and I will get back to you. So thank you for your time today. And we're going to use the rest of our class time to do some searching while your instructor and I are here to help you and answer any questions. And if you do have questions in the future, please feel free to reach out to me or to anyone in the library, and we'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you.